Navigating Hollywood studios in 2026 requires an aggressive level of planning. Without a strategy, the park's layout and ride density will turn your vacation into a test of endurance. The park has shed its 1989 identity as a working film and TV production lot. In its place, Disney has constructed massive, hyper-realistic worlds dedicated to Star Wars, Toy Story, and the Muppets. That evolution created a unique structural issue. Hollywood Studios is incredibly top-heavy. It is packed almost entirely with massive, highly popular e-ticket headliner rides, with very few minor attractions to absorb the crowds. Look at this breakdown of headliners versus low-weight filler rides across the 4 parks. Hollywood Studios dominates the headliner category, meaning almost everyone in the park is trying to do the exact same things you are. Because there's nowhere else for people to go, that unbalanced ride ratio translates directly into brutal, day-long standby wait times for almost everything on the map. If your plan is to just write down a few rides on a notepad and wing it, you are going to spend your entire vacation standing on concrete. You are forced into a zero-sum choice to conquer this park in one day. You either need to ruthlessly spend money on queue-skipping passes, or you need to deploy some highly contrarian time strategies. Standard rope drop means arriving before dawn to sprint towards Slinky Dog or the Muppets coaster. You hit a Tier 1 ride but burn massive energy. Instead, skip the rush. Arrive 30 minutes after opening and head straight for Rise of the Resistance. While the thousands who woke up at 5 a.m. are tied up in Toy Story Land, the wait for Rise of the Resistance often drops to a manageable 30 to 50 minutes. That specific timing choice saves a family of 4 over $80 because you completely avoid having to buy the a la carte Lightning Lane single pass for that ride. You can also save time on rides like Millennium Falcon's Smuggler's Run by using the single rider line, but you have to accept that your group will be split up and you'll miss out on the collaborative storytelling experience. Your morning sets the currency for your entire day. You are either spending your peak physical energy to guarantee ride access, or you are conserving your cash by timing crowds. If you spend cash, you'll deal with Lightning Lane Multipass, fluctuating between $15 and $39 per person depending on the day. The core mechanic is that you pre-book 3 attractions days before you set foot in Florida. This timeline compares both paths. The paid track locks in short windows, while standby suffers massive 2-hour waits. To make this work, use the rolling reservation system. The second you scan into a ride, immediately book the next to keep the chain going. The mental cost is steep. You trade your physical time in line for the requirement to be glued to your smartphone, constantly refreshing for availability. There is an advanced loophole that makes this easier to manage: the unadvertised 2-hour grace period. As long as you scan in within an hour and 59 minutes after your Lightning Lane was supposed to expire, the system will still let you on. This allows you to absorb schedule blowouts without losing the ride. Buying Multipass buys back your physical time, but it requires cash and a willingness to manage the mental stress of a rigid digital schedule. From noon to 4 p.m., Hollywood Studios becomes hostile. You're dealing with peak crowd capacity intersecting with peak Florida heat. You need to schedule your long-seated entertainment, like the Indiana Jones show or Beauty and the Beast, strictly within this 4-hour block. This is also the exact time to book an indoor sit-down dining reservation. You need a dedicated air-conditioned anchor to recover. The trade-off is that consuming 3 to 4 hours on shows and food during the day actively forces highest demand rides into your evening schedule. But a strategic midday break isn't a luxury here. It is a mandatory stamina requirement to survive the park's aggressive layout. That brings us to the evening shift, where you save the attractions in Toy Story Land and down Sunset Boulevard for after dark. The primary benefit here is mathematical. Wait times naturally plummet in the evening as families with small children hit a wall and leave the park. You also get the secondary benefits of dropping temperatures and a park layout that looks incredible under the neon lighting design. The major sacrifice is that the character meet and greets close much earlier than the rides. If you push this to the evening, you will miss out on seeing the characters entirely. Pushing high-demand rides into the final hours removes the need for paid skip-the-line passes, allowing any guest to access top-tier attractions with significantly shorter waits. So, taking all of these trade-offs into account, it's time to map out your exact order based on your budget and energy levels. This chart outlines 2 reliable blueprints for conquering the park. The budget and relaxed path utilizes a delayed morning arrival for Rise of the Resistance. It leans heavily on midday shows and saves Toy Story Land for the night. You keep your sanity, and a family saves over $100. The optimizer path leverages the multipass, an early entry to guarantee you hit every single ride. You will reach 100% completion, but it requires maxing out your budget and physical endurance. Whichever path you choose, remember the golden rule of any Disney park. Look with your eyes, not the app. The official app frequently overestimates wait times to manipulate where crowds flow. If a line physically looks short to you, be willing to abandon your rigid schedule and jump in. Having the best possible day at Hollywood Studios isn't about doing every single thing on the map. It's about knowing exactly what your time, your money, and your sanity are actually worth.